Okay, so today will be sort of the beginning of a mini-series where it's actually like return to Lichess, maybe just because I want to use all these custom pieces and stupid stuff, but there is sort of a deeper psychological meaning to it, because like, if you're only playing chess once a week and you're only playing it a little bit of time, little things like that do make a difference. Not specifically this, but just like anything fun to me. They never had this section before. I don't know what this is. Just like every little thing, you know, listening to the music, doing it on stream, doing it with the custom pieces, doing whatever, just like some sort of challenge with it, format with it, custom cursor, like all these little things to actually make it fun instead of just a dry, shitty fucking board game moving wooden pieces. Hardcore gamer loses to virtual wood was one of my old titles. So basically, speaking of titles, there is one thing I found so funny over the last couple days. This title is obviously the whole Riddler thing from Am I Being Over the Top from Batman Forever, like where he's like, if knowledge is power, then a god am I. So like, this is obviously my whole King of the Sandcastle thing that I always bring up. Like, it's not hard to be top 5 percentile in chess, like I've already been that, or it's not hard to be top 10% in the world at chess, but that's just because those people either haven't played as much as you, or like so many people just play but they don't take it seriously. So among people who've played it as much as you and who take it seriously and study, then how far can you go? And so all those people will be top 10%. So it's not hard to pick on the baddies and, you know, show yourself to be better than that. But no, I made a title of like whatever, the Street Fighter quote. It's like from my last video on YouTube, just because I keep uploading these, and this is one of the funniest things ever. It's like the one where he says, so you came here to fight a madman, but instead you found a god. So I put, you came here to play king, but instead you found a god. And it got like a ton of dislikes and people hating on it because they're taking it like literally, like I'm actually saying I'm good at chess or something like that. And of course I'm always objective that way and I say how bad I am, but they're taking it like literally or seriously. Maybe they don't know where the quote's from or something. So it's like, sure, this is a Street Fighter quote. You know your gaming community is stuck up and elitist and clowns when you're taking a fucking Street Fighter joke quote seriously. Like when I did the Exorcist quote, were they mad because I'm not actually a demon from a fucking another universe or something? When I say your horse is like carrots in the capture pile, Karis, you worthless swine. Like fucking whatever. I'm not really playing Paul Karas's ghost and doing that. Or if I was, I wouldn't be so rude to him. It's just a fucking joke, dude. Yeah, I always like to riff on different quotes and lines, and sometimes I'll just come up with my own little things like in-character RP type stuff, which is kind of hard to explain for something like chess, but I should make a compilation of all my titles over the years. Some of them are actually quite good. Just gotta focus here a bit. You can see how low my rating has gotten, and it's just like there is something disturbing about sometimes how I approach it. I don't care about like the innate ability aspect as much anymore, right? Because maybe that ship has sailed, but I do care about like the effort level. Sometimes I'm just not trying at all, right? Like I take it for granted. Like I know I'm better than them. I know I should win, but then I don't. Like, which there is something important to learn with that. Like, pretend you're a grandmaster and you're playing like an IM, right? There's always this sense like, oh, well, he's 100 rating lower than me, so I can take my foot off the gas and not worry about it, right? But you do have to worry about it. That's the thing. So it's not about what level you're at. That's like a consistency and conditioning type of argument. Like, can you just maintain it and be consistent and not play down to your competition or play up to your competition? And like really, his fucking name almost represents his rating perfectly. Or if I win this, will I get 1337? Haha, so funny. Yeah, that's the whole lesson to be learned. Like, just because I actually do like this one, so I'll use it for a while, even though people might take issue with it. I have a whole bunch of other ones too. I kind of want to see that aquatic one, the sea, whatever. It's got like a porcupine, fish, and all these kind of things, blowfish. The point is that if you decide to, you know, play the same way every time. So they could be 100 rating lower, they could be 100 higher, they could be shitty, 1200, 1500, 1700, 2000. It's easy to say it like, oh, you should always play the same way and play the position, not the player, but it's very hard to actually do that because you can get away with some things in some games, whereas otherwise you can't. And you try things that you know wouldn't work in other scenarios and stuff like that. It's very, very strange. Or like there's these moments of laziness where like I don't even know what I'm trying to do, and I kind of just grasp at straws. That's why I would have considered myself a failure in a certain sense, right? I think I've said this a couple times actually lately. Just the point is like, oh, I failed my chess challenge, but the challenge wasn't the way that people take it. Like, oh, well, you should have just studied and gotten better, and then you could have done it. And that's true, and I'll still do that in the long term. But that's not how I consider it a failure, because that feels like a cop-out and cheating that you studied or whatever. My whole thing was like, how far can I get without studying just by putting forth a certain amount of effort and whatever, resiliency and calculation into your play. And that element, I feel like I could have gone a lot farther, but I didn't do it. And so after those 3 failures on chess.com, that was like the final nail in the coffin. So now I'm just doing it for the fuck of it. The thing I will say, though, is that it doesn't mean that like I failed that 3 times, so like 3 strikes and you're out. But there was something else I was going to say with that. I guess I just failed on that sort of innate level to whatever extent you think that would be meaningful. Now this double sancks the pawn, which isn't too big of a deal, but I guess it's okay. This looks like a very clean position that I can definitely deal with. Yeah, now whatever challenge or any intent I do with it would be very long term. Like, okay, I'll get to 2200 FIDE in the next 10 years if I get time in real life or whatever. It's like the whole absolutist principle of understanding the nature of a process, right? Just because I understand, like, oh, all it would take for me to be good at chess would be, like, you know, oh, I have to study for very long periods of time. That's not diminishing it or, like, saying, oh, well, anybody could just do that. It's to say, like, that's step 1. So step 1 would be I have to do it for an obscenely long amount of time, and then we'll see how far I can go and how good I can get. But it's not a question of, like, you can't just jump the gun and say, oh, well, how good are you just right now? Because it doesn't matter as much. Although, to be fair, I did put in a lot of fucking time even that way. Like, in this much time, anybody should be a lot better than this, too. This would be such a cool move if you had, if that was like a bishop, because then you're threatening that and that. This is such a weird position. I don't really know what to do with that. See, the only piece you really have to watch is the knight. That's the only active piece. The rooks never really feel that active because they're always like fucking around. Just like that's the best you can do. That's fine. Now I could have gotten a pass pawn out of it. See, that would be advanced next level play, assuming I would have been able to actually protect it and convert it all the way. This has got to be one of the coolest sets ever. Because even though it doesn't show the facial features, that's actually kind of a good thing because it perfectly conveys who everybody is, even though I didn't know exactly who that was. This is a very inspired, beautiful set. Right, because the subject matter is irrelevant. Like, oh, it could be any sort of fictional universe, but he's just giving this up to me, I think. I don't see what... Oh, no, he's not. This is being double attacked, so it puts pressure on him not even to move the rook. I could do this as if you're doing like an octopus bishop, but I don't see what it does either. That would be a bad move for me there. Okay, let's just concentrate here. These are the kind of positions I get every single time, but then I don't, you know, I don't do anything with them really. Or I start to just become very aimless, like I couldn't really explain to you what I'm doing at this stage in the game. I have no idea what I'm doing. He presumably has even less of an idea of what he's doing if that's possible, but let's see what we can do. There's a few games I've been having an urge to play that are not within my regular format. So I could save it for Saturday, or I almost want like another slot that I could do stuff like that. Like the Avatar game that just came out looks pretty cool. And the, Battlefront 2 for whatever reason. Maybe Star Wars fucking, you would think I'm actually a fan of it or something. I could pin this down, but it doesn't seem very meaningful. Like, what would I double attack it with then? So he's attacking there specifically. If you do this, you would take, I would take, but I feel like the bishop is going to be far more valuable here. Then you lose the open file. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. There might have been a big move if he went there. That might have been bad, but he didn't do it. We both have passed pawn, so I don't think that's too big of an issue. But the thing is, he's going to easily be able to take it because it's what my queen does that's really going to come into play. If my queen can cover back and make up for something, then we're in good shape. Doing this is okay, but then he can easily take this. So he'll cover this first and then take it, and then I don't have anything to show for it. He's threatening there. My queen just has to get involved, and it's just not. I don't know if that's his mistake or that's something he just wants to do. We're covering that, which is not really a big priority of mine at all here. So now you could just push it and then go there, and then you'd be guaranteed to do the trade there. The priority is to not... Or wait a second, you could just... Oh, but see, he'll check there and then take. If I would take, then he would check, he would take. That's one of those things that's like, I almost doubt he saw that. Right, like he probably didn't even know that was gonna happen, but this is confusing because it's hard to kind of play around this, and I'm taking too much time. My pawn movement doesn't matter. He'll go up and then he'll go down, and so my queen can't really do anything. So it would have been very dangerous, to take. It's a bait play. You can check and take. Very strange. Part of what ends up happening is just like you see the same stuff, but you just see it quicker. But what you're not seeing is like the really advanced next level stuff as far as like several moves ahead and things like that. Or at the very least, you're not even looking for stuff like that because you don't expect to be able to find it. So that's kind of a little bit of a self-defeating prophecy in a way. I don't care even if he takes that. I just want to... You would have to address this. Right, but this is where also I get lazy. He could take there, then I would take, but then he would take. So he'd only really be up like maybe one pawn, but in a game that I should have probably been up more, it is this sort of weird, again, playing down your competition or just trying to be lazy. The lazy gambit is what I have to ultimately conquer at some point in my chess experience. My times are always bugged out on here for some reason. It'll say like 24, like tomorrow or something, like 24 hours from now this game is taking place. Like, what the fuck? You should have tried to go for a promotion there, but I'm just too lazy to do it. Now, if he takes that, I'd actually be happy with it. That'd be a horrible, horrible move by him. What the fuck did he just do? Because now you get to cover that too. And then... Well... That could be problematic, but let me think about it. What you want to do is you want to cover in such a way that if you go here, it's bad because he's going to push it and then he's threatening. So the queen is already covering that one, so I don't have to worry about it there. Right, like this you can't take unless you attack it with the queen as well. I'm not as concerned with getting the promotion myself as stopping his, but I'm very defensive minded as usual. Doesn't always serve me super well, I'll admit, but so that doesn't help. He's letting me actually have that, which is weird. Like, sure, you can take mine, but you just gave yours up. Or what if I was to do like this? See, that would work maybe in a different... Well, no. He could just ignore it, but like he would take and then I could take. But if he takes with the queen, then it doesn't matter. Now we get into a stale endgame in which I could easily, you know, consider it a draw, but then I'll lose on time. Like, there's no point to even playing this out, but... Turn chess into a real-time game. Or somehow I'll even clown this up, just in pure impatience and everything, but... There is a certain poetic meaning to Sidious and Yoda being the kings. Because yes, they're powerful, but they're also, you know, they're strategic leaders. Like, you wouldn't want them to be... You wouldn't want them to be in the line of fire unless they have to be, despite how powerful they are. It's kind of just like a bonus or a trump card for them. So... I mean, I don't see how you really would do anything with this, to be honest with you, but... You should just be able to equalize the pawns. He's just stalling for time. Comes through there. This is covered. This is okay, as long as he can't like bait a cover away in a way that I don't want to happen. It'd be mathematically impossible for anything to go wrong with this. Even if I try to lose now, it should be difficult. He'll check, doesn't have any meaning to it. Somehow I'm gonna give something up. You could attack that, but the act of doing it would allow me to take this. I don't really know. Oh, whoops. Or like, what if he just does that? Then I could still take, I guess. Or he let me take that anyway. Okay, so now it's just a matter of two. Like, there's no guarantee that this will actually be a draw at all, but unless you actually blunder a rook, I don't see why it wouldn't be. But he didn't even take it. But now it's pretty clear that he could still, if you just check there. Okay. So like, it's not even time that bothered me. It's just the staleness of the position. Like, I don't really care. Alright, dude. Now he won't even be able to do it. He'll still fucking fuck it up. This is not something that everybody actually knows how to do super well, actually. But he has way too much time. It's very hard to try, like, with your maximum effort every game, regardless of what that is, or regardless of what the result is, or the level that you're actually playing at. All of that is irrelevant. But just to peak for whatever that it means for you, it's hard to even define. That is very difficult because somehow you're always just kind of cheesing or copping out or something. He's totally gonna stalemate. So I probably was winning for a while there too. This shows you why ratings are meaningless on 2 counts. On one hand, sure, it's inflated and whatever, right? It doesn't really matter on these websites as much as in real life. But on the second hand, it's like, I can beat, like, literally, I don't know. It's like you can do whatever you want to do. It's just about how hard you try to an extent, right? Like, once you get to fucking 2,000 ratings, sure, there's going to be limits to what you can do, but it's like I'm losing to a 1,200 and I beat like fucking 1,800. It's like it's nothing sometimes. It just doesn't make any sense. It's not only playing down to your competition, but it's just like you're not even really playing at all. Like, all this is fine. And the point is, at least that's still a draw. Like, that's factually, objectively a draw, and I just don't even care. There's nothing... Yeah, see, even that move I question. All these passed pawns were not really worth the effort. You're supposed to go back there, which I thought about doing, but... Or no, that's what I did do. Never mind. I know not only thought about it, but I followed through on the thought. He blunders it back. Like, let's try to understand a little bit, why was that so bad? You're trying to go here, so this doesn't concern you as much. But why couldn't you just go for it? Like, well, obviously that, but it was not a very impressive thing. But again, even despite the mistakes or the back and forth of those blunders, it's very clear that it was a draw because you could have just done rook versus rook. All you have to do is not let him take it with the king or whatever I did. FIDE has announced an investigation into Baroja's Gracie Canada's mini-match series, clarifying they reserve the right to not rate a specific tournament and will address similar occurrences. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. Past drama in 2023 is how you know it's really made it. That message of broadcast hosts are now highlighted. Congratulations to David Navarra on winning the European Blitz Championship. It was a pleasure to annotate 4 games of the World Championship match. It's even greater. I love some of the annotations too, are so funny. Like, whether they do that in serious matches like that or not, but like, what a cool and interesting move, smiley face. Like, there's all these like little extrapolated things. It's not just telling you what the move is or like an instructive thing. It's like, wow, that was a really cool move. You caught me by surprise. Wow, fun. It's like this weird conversational style. How are you doing today? How's your wife? Did your wife teach you that move? Because she's also an FM. I am. Fuck. Like, just whatever. You have a whole fucking conversation and shit going on. Magnus Carlsen withdrew from last year's Mindful Cup following defeat to Hans Niemann. He has now been cleared by FIDE, but is fined $10,000 for withdrawing from a tournament. What do you mean he has been cleared? Hans has been cleared, but Magnus is fine. The way they wrote that even is biased against Hans. Look at that. He has now been cleared, but is fined $10,000. It's Magnus who's fined, but cleared by what? Cleared in what way? What do you mean? Decision. Like, obviously he was sued and there was a whole big thing with that. Right to appeal. I think the accusation was very inflammatory, though. I would say he should have had some sort of... there should have been some comeuppance for that. Right, in a legal context, you should have to pay Hans a certain reparation, because it's not even whether the accusation is correct or not. Like, you have the right to be wrong about something like that, but the very ostentatious, public, sort of baiting way that he did it was very obnoxious, I think. Or here's like an RP quote title that I could use, like fucking, you must put all yourself into something, not just part of it, like some sort of a... I could come up with a better way to say it than that, but like just the half-mass versus the absolutist as far as some of those innate tendencies, like just put forth the true effort every game, all the way. Sometimes I really don't understand what it is, but it's a good analogy to my whole gaming experience and mentality too, because you've seen that in permadeath runs and other things that I used to at least be better at. It doesn't mean that I would always succeed or I would always do it perfectly or something like that. What it means is that if I failed, it would have to be to something crazy, not just like a lack of effort, like, oh, I just got bored, or oh, I'm just, you know, fucking around with it. But that is really funny that some of my whatever, detractors on some videos have been like, oh, you talk too much. Isn't that ironic for the quiet gamer? Like, next you'll be saying I'm too loud. Of course, it's just a namesake, but still, like, obviously, look at him coming in with the X-Wings or B-Wings or whatever the fuck they are. My friend had a funny comment on some video about that, like, something to do with the B-Wing. Like, why didn't the B-Wing appear in the movie despite being designed and everything? They forgot to B-Wing it, like, bwing it. B-W-I-N-G. They forgot to bwing it. This is the state of YouTube comments in fucking 2023. So this is not particularly important, but that is an interesting position that he's created there. What I should try to do is, you could octopus knight that or something. Because you're covering with the knight, and so anything else you do will potentially pose a problem. Right, he could do it, take. He's doing that, which is a nonsensical move. That's probably a misclick, actually, all things considered. So if you go here, it's cute, but it doesn't actually do anything because you could move his knight and then push it out with the pawn or something. I have no idea what he's doing with that. This is where the knight pisses you off because it's like it's not in a bad position and everything with it is okay, but it's just stupid because it doesn't... Huh? We still just effectively traded there. I don't really understand what happened, but I guess that was worth it because we got rid of the bishop threat that would have been there otherwise. Everything else is safe. If you take, all I really have to do is move this. Gotta look and double check your work is always the rule of chess. Double check your calculation, or just do it in the first place, which often, you know, these lower rated players don't even bother to put that much effort. Yeah, this is the kind of vibe that you need to do chess in the long term, which I should know by now because I've been doing it on a semi-regular basis since coming back to streaming a couple years ago. Like, you just set the vibe. Like, this is fucking Godot's music from Phoenix Wright. You'll have like fucking all these kind of other things in your favor. They seem like small things that don't make a big difference, but there is like a subtle psychological element that's very powerful. You'd go here, and that's also creating a threat, but that very clearly dictates where his queen. This is what I call like a cheeky threat. It's not going to actually do anything, but it's still cute. Or maybe it will because you can't go there because I could take with the queen, so maybe I did actually do something. Yeah, it might be mathematically impossible actually to save that pawn. So it is actually impossible. Taking that as a moot point. Like, that's the kind of thing that's like, wow, that was actually a good moment because you did something that wasn't super obvious or whatever. It's still capitalizing on his mistake that he easily could have just not made, but now you have this little sexy H-file thing open, which maybe the only way to deal with that is actually to do this, which is okay for now. He's not developing his knight particularly well either. Now the queen has to get involved, but it's a little tricky as to how that might actually happen. If you move the pawn, that would be under threat for whatever that is worth. He finally develops his knight. We're in an actually pretty good position, I would say, but something still confuses me a little bit about this. Like, I don't know. I don't like this pawn's position. I'm, again, just being a little bit lazy. If you were to do that and I was to take, well, I could take with the queen though anyway. So don't worry about his king's position. I'll still just go for the double stack. For whatever it's worth, it'll be an open file in due course, I guess. If you were to bait this, you could double take, right? So you could put this here, but it makes you wonder, like, I guess it's in line with the king. So this is one of those fancy kind of moves that isn't good at all, but it's like, it stops the pawn from advancing here even better than we're already doing now. And so what you're doing is, if you take, then I could double take, right? So he wouldn't do it. But again, it's sort of a needlessly fancy thing. I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would take, he would still take. But it's moot because you're giving that up for a couple of stormtroopers anyway. If you go here, he can go ahead and attack it with the pawn. But then at least it's the same thing where I could take, and if he takes, then I could double take. But I don't know whether I want to trap it in there like that and leave it at the mercy of everything here. It would work in the very short term, but it just might not be worth it. Man, that's a tough move, actually. Like, that's not even the point of the position, but it's like you go here, then he goes here. Then I could take, then if he takes, then I could double take. But if he doesn't take, and then we have nowhere to go, I'm not going to do it. He still does kind of the same idea of a move, but now he fucked up. Because now I could simply take it. If he takes, I take back. The queen doesn't cover, the knight doesn't cover. He makes the same mistake. Look at that. You just threw the game, dude. I'm just telling you, why don't you snipe my stream? Maybe you'll learn something. Basic 1 to 2 move calculation at fucking 1300 rating is all it takes, dude. So we're not up by that big of a margin, but I would love to do the queen trade check purpose, but I can't do it. And as long as he can't do any kind of crazy check, which he can't really do. You could come up with all different names and alternate things too for the, you know, based on the whole Star Wars theme of it, like a literal mind trick where you bait your opponent into something somehow. So you could just be throwing, or he takes there, but it's not a big deal. In fact, that's what I want, but I still can't do it. He goes down the other way, which isn't particularly important to me, but... Or maybe it is. That's exactly what I want. Takes, I take. I love not being able to figure out whether that was meant to be Leia or Luke. It would make more sense in the context of, oh, haha, it's Leia because she's actually the queen, but then Darth Vader is not as much of a whiny bitch as Anakin can sometimes be. I still wouldn't reduce him to that status. I guess it could have been Obi-Wan or somebody too, though. Like just somebody who's like goes out and actually does things actively more than you know, Yoda, or somebody who sits back and just chills the whole time. Like Mace Windu could be the king too, I guess. Or no, it could have been Yoda and Mace. Could have been those two. And think about how long this would take too. It makes you appreciate, like when I did that 14-hour stream, you take a day off work, you stream chess for 14 hours, you play all day. Probably 12 hours in total, you take a break to eat and use the bathroom. Like, is that really what you're trying to do with your life? Like, why should that be a thing? Regardless of the exact rating you're at and stuff like that. Something is just wrong with that picture. Like, I don't understand. I don't even feel the need to really do that. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna just go up and just fucking what? Only thing that bothers me in the early game is if you really harass and threaten the horse, because you have to keep moving it back and forth. Or I could just stop that short and say, because you actually have to move it, period. Because I hate moving the horse ever in its whole existence. So that is always a problem. Comes down, I take. He can't even take back. So what you can do is you can... I can move the knight down. It's not really a great thing to do, but... See, like, that's a bad move because you'd rather develop than try to acquiesce to the horse's stupid existence, but... This is good because if you go here, I can simply take. So you're at least pinning it down adequately. Is there some way that I could take advantage of that, though? Like, if I take... He could take... But otherwise, I could take, he could take. That's not really relevant. So the fact that it's pinned down is irrelevant. I don't know. You gotta have like this sort of night vision. And I don't mean it in the way of like fucking whatever, seeing in the dark. Like there's something, you have to understand how the night works. Because it's just so fucking stupid. So if you have proper night vision in terms of chess, you would understand like what path you're trying to go with it. Whereas there it was completely random, as if to imply that the walkers could jump at all because they're so slow and janky and immobile anyway. If I do this, you can take a bishop. The knights cover each other. I almost want to do one of these just because... Just to, first of all, trade something, but also to trade, well, to get a knight off the board, but see, I give up what could potentially have been a bishop pair. I just don't feel like this was the kind of game where I could have really taken advantage of that, though, anyway. You could try to do something with the thing here. With the knight. Like, I see some pseudo fake path for an octopus knight. Because if I say, like, okay, I'll go here, and then... No. I'll go here, and then, like, oh no, it's an octopus knight, because if he comes here, I could take. Or if he comes there, and then there, and I'm there, then I would take, he would take, and then I would still need, like, another cover for it. And he kind of already botched it, because now he can't push that out. It's just impossible. Unless he covers with this, then I would take, he would take, but it still wouldn't push it out because you would only be covering it. It's that level of logic in your moves that might not seem like a big deal, but that's all I really ask for or expect in the game of chess. Like, just give me that much effort or rhyme or reason to what you're doing. Like, now you would have an anchor pawn here. This pawn then becomes a question. I don't really know what it's doing. There's just so many positions like this that just look stale. Like, I don't know what's happening with it or what either of us are really trying to do. And it's not that strange to think that because, you know, we don't know what we're doing, so how could we expect to figure out what the other person is doing? You can figure out the strategy of the one who has no strategy. The art of war. I would take, he wouldn't be able to take... You can do many things in your life. You can fucking go to the moon, terraform Mars, but you cannot beat me in a game of chess, dude. 15,000 games played. I'm gonna look like one of those clowns pretty soon, but that is such an insane number of games. Think about how much I've played. I've only played 761 games, 531 games. I've literally played for a couple years, kind of on and off, but that just shows you how insane it is. Like, this is just normal for chess. You just do it like it's your whole life. So the en passant thing doesn't actually work there, so I'm completely at a loss for what to do here. There's just nothing. Okay, it's important not to lose on time then. If he takes, I can take. Like, I don't know. Just get frustrated with the lack of any sort of development or any progress that you're making. Either because, oh, they're too good, or that's just how chess is, that it's hard to really do anything too decisive too fast. That's why it comes down to these canned sort of whatever predetermined theory things. Like you already know, right? You just look at a position and you know. That's why even if people have like time odds and things like that, it's like they're not playing from their innate ability, because that would have been like them playing when they were as bad as you. They're playing from their borrowed knowledge, so it makes it much easier, assuming how good they are in the first place. They're drawing upon years and years of borrowed knowledge. Okay, so he didn't do anything with that. That was such a fruitless move by him. But then again, all my moves were pretty much equally fruitless because I have no idea what I'm doing. I see no path for the dark square bishop. I see a very minimal path for the queen. I'm just at a loss. I don't know. There's always like these logical razors that you could point to. Okay, so now he gives up something. He gives up something because I can take, he can take, he can take, I can take, he can take, but I still can't take. Even after all that, I still can't take. I don't understand. This is like a little bit of an octopus side of his own, but it doesn't do anything. I wouldn't mind getting there with mine either. In fact, that would be a very godly position. But it makes you think like, oh, if it's an octopus knight and it's such an issue, then why couldn't he just take with this after all? You hate GTA 5? I just got money, car, but haven't unlocked sticky bombs. So it says go get another car and blow that up to open. I go to get another car. Then the money truck disappears. Are you playing online, I assume? That's the sad part about what they did to the single player, is like they would have had all these other cool mechanics like vigilante missions and this and that like they had in GTA 4, but they kind of, or like gang wars, and combine all that stuff. I always said Franklin should have gang wars with all the territories like San Andreas. Then Michael should have the vigilante missions like Nico and stuff in GTA 4, and then Trevor could have his own little thing like he kind of does have, some of those drug delivery missions. And so that would give you a lot of replay value to come back to, all those kind of things. But instead they just say, fuck it, go play online and buy some shark cards. I'm kind of baffled by this position. I have no idea what to do. And it's never in a bad way, like everything's okay. I'm not losing, it's not that big of a deal, but I just don't know what to do. It's so stupid. Then I just do something wild and dumb. Oh, not bad. How about yours? Oh, you're doing the extra of the story? Yeah, we should totally do like a duo thing like that. I'll live vicariously, watch somebody play GTA 5 for the first time. This is what React content is about, right? Like somehow either people acting like they're better than you, haha, look, I did that mission better than you on my first playthrough, or something. Of course, I am a permadeath god when it comes to GTA games, and I unironically, GTA 5 wasn't that hard of a permadeath run, but this one I should just be able to take. But GTA 4 took on a whole nother life of its own. Is there a way I could just like harass the knight there? Okay, so that was a very obvious mistake there. You've died many times. You played it a couple times. I thought you said you've never played it. Or I mean, maybe like you mean right now, but if he moves that, he loses the thing, but he can't move it because all you'd have to do is like attack that with something else, but I can't figure out how to do it. Man, this kind of game just frustrates me because it's so slow. Like nothing's happening, man. This is why I just like to trade everything. Like whatever the outcome's gonna be, just do it quicker. Which is weird for somebody who likes classical games so much. Now you're covering that, but you don't really want to cover it in that awkward way with the thing, with the knight. I have 8 hours on the game, most of it's running around doing shit. I've only met Lester. Yeah, it is kind of a little slow paced at the beginning. I especially got, like, it broke my immersion when I had to do that stupid mission at the docks with Trevor, where you're just moving the cranes at the docks, and I'm like, why the fuck am I even playing this right now? Like, it's so boring and has nothing to do with anything. You know, you might say, oh, the game doesn't only have to be action, but also, you know, what use is there in a crane mechanic dock thing if that's not what the game's designed to do? It's meant to drive and shoot, so either drive and shoot or come up with some other compelling mechanic, but not something that's just like a one-off stupid thing. That's the next one. Only just met Lester. Okay. Yeah, the whole heist thing was a little bit overrated. Like, you have to set it up. So go steal a fire truck and go do this and go do that. But none of it really felt all that involved. Like, it's still not bad, but they hyped it up like it was going to be something more than what it actually was. This is actually okay, too. Despite making my king maybe feel a little bit open and vulnerable. I fucked up pretty bad, actually, but it should still be fine. I'm always down on time, though. Stop spoiling. What did I even spoil? Oh, just like how... Well, it's not even anything specific. Now you know how I feel when people fucking do it. But no, I'm just saying, like... I'm saying the way that it's structured is maybe a little bit... You know, like that. That's just more from the advertising and stuff, how they presented it. Oh, what missions there are? There's a mission where you shoot a bunch of people, like, wow. Or there's a mission where you drive a car, like it's GTA. You know what the missions are gonna be like, dude. It's not that big of a surprise. I can spoil GTA 6 for everybody. You're gonna drive around and shoot people. There's a lot of that. And randomly move a crane at the dock for some dumb shit reason. For one mission that nobody likes. And then I'm like, fuck it, I'll just play Hearthstone because I got the closed beta key. And then I didn't play GTA 5 again until like 2015 when it came out on PC because I got it for the PS3 originally. I literally bought a PS3 just to be able to play it. So I wonder if I'll buy a Xbox next fucking gen thing to play GTA 6. But it'll probably be on this gen just because it's not going to be, you know, nothing new is going to come out that soon. Okay, what is even happening with this position? I don't understand. Was that available the whole time or what? Or probably just as a result of what I just did. I've rarely been at as much of a loss in a game of chess than in this one. Not because it's bad, but because it's just trivial. Like, what is he trying to do? What's his master plan? If I didn't blunder that one piece, like, there's just nothing to this position. It just literally moves stuff back and forth until he just gives up. He's not doing anything. He got a bishop pair going the wrong way, away from the king. Bro, I was waiting for that. Now what am I supposed to do in GTA 6? You spoiled it all. So this is an okay move to make. And the reason why is because there's not really fuck all that he can do. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. Now if he comes there, he can double attack. He comes there. He's got to use the bishop somehow creatively to actually do something. You'd get a cat. I should play some game that lets you RP and get a cat in that sense. Like, you know. Fuck it, dude. I'm just getting impatient to the point where I'd be willing to make a move like this. That might have been a bad idea. Shit. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of an example like that. Can you get a cat in GTA Online? Just something that you can kind of do real life stuff like that. I feel like you can get one in Oblivion or something. Like a tabby cat or something. I don't think you can in Skyrim. You can adopt children though, for what that's worth. There were so many good mechanics in Skyrim, but it felt like they kind of pulled their punches a little bit. Like the speech system was actually kind of bad, all things considered. Your move is probably obvious. You should just go here and attack this, I guess, but I don't like this. I really don't like it. So even with that little +2 blunder that I gave him, it still doesn't matter. If you move this take, gotta make something happen here. Keep a certain amount of pressure going as far as simply being able to do that, but doesn't do me much good. My rook is very awkwardly positioned, so I don't know what this guy's even doing either. They're the best. How about real life? That's too much work, though. If I go here, what happens? Nothing bad happens. That's all good, but now you can start to target my own pawns. We kind of cheat that with the fork a little bit, but it's okay. I can't believe how some of these games actually go. Like, they're so stupid. That's why chess can be so objectively just unsatisfying, because it's not like a real thing. If you actually beat me, that's one thing, but it's so like, it's just like incomplete. You're not really having a full, complete experience with what you're doing. I won't even blame time there, but then it always looks worse than what it actually is at the end. Like, that was a very even kind of game. So stupid. Hurry up. Fucking free stockfish. Complain about it. Chess.com's is better. It's faster, even though you're paying for it, and it's not really that much better or faster. Kind of the way they present it is sometimes a little more fun with the whatever. But can you use a Star Wars custom piece set on there or whatever fucking one? I wanted to make one myself too, but I'm too lazy to do it. Just like I'm too lazy to make my own emotes for my channel. Are you an only child? Possibly. Okay, let's actually try to win a couple of these games. This guy's provisional new player. This kind of is sad a little bit. There's something very irritating happening right now. Where I can't get like a proper game played. Like, what is it that I'm doing? I'm getting super impatient in the middle game if I can't just win in a super easy way or get some major advantage. Or what's funny is, even if I do get a why is he wait that long, dude? Speaking of trying to make me impatient. Okay, so we go here, we go here. I'm a master of opening theory. I know the King's Indian like the back of my hand, even though it's not considered as good in this modern day. Which you might not think that's a big deal at the low rank, but still, you shouldn't learn how to play it the wrong way. You should learn how to play at the GM level from the first time you play. At least in concept or philosophy or theory, even though it's impossible to really do that. The queen is just randomly there, which doesn't have any meaning at all to me. Let's see how many thousands of the game. Oh no, of course. This guy's provisional. Literally his first game ever on the site. I'm going to make him delete his account because I'm going to beat him so badly and talk shit while doing it. Like, that did actually happen with somebody. I should have posted that. But I don't want to be known as such a cruel BMer, I guess. I don't know. You could go here. You have to make a decision as far as where you really want the thing to go. Where do I want the bishops to actually go? I guess I want it to go here. But it doesn't always work out that way. I guess the background of the board itself never bothers me. Like, I don't even notice that there. It's completely irrelevant, but this is all too obvious of a move, but he's not really doing anything else, so. And we are putting the pressure on the queen anyway, so he won't be able to, he won't let himself get forked because he's rather just move the queen, you know, it's not a big deal. You know, that might be a bad move with the pawn, but just my temptation to threaten the horse is always so strong. I could have done that one, I guess, too. Because this pawn structure doesn't make a ton of sense. That knight is almost damn near trapped. In fact, now it should be. But he can go there, and then it won't be under threat. Look how much trouble the knight can cause for itself. Like, just... It's not doing anything. It's just trying to get away without getting taken. And it's just so annoying. Like, all I'm trying to do is trade for it now. And he has no choice but to take it, which I consider that a victory right there. Being able to actually trade off a knight and just get rid of it. You can pick on provisional players all day. But aside from that, I don't know what I'm really trying to do here. Yeah, raw amount of time you put into chess is a factor, but it's not going to get you as far as you might think. What you really have to do is study and try to cheat the process, and you know, that's fair enough, and that's what everybody does, but I almost wish this was the opposite, where the king would show up here and the knight would show up there, so you don't have to look at the ugly knight as much. You could go to here, which doesn't actually do a whole lot. He would take. If he moves that pawn, then I'd be inclined to take, so he opens the king. But until then, I guess I'll just have to wait. We could take, he could take, but then I would take. That would be a good multi-move sequence. But the act of taking would also open his ability to take, but it wouldn't because I have the queen there still too. Unless he moves that pawn, then I would... So then I would take, then he would take. Then I would take, then he would be able to take. Then I can't take because he's covering with the queen. So I always end up with these bishops on the wrong side. So even if I have like a pseudo bishop pair, just by simply having two of them. Okay, that's a very ugly, very, very ugly fucking castle. What if I do it now? I guess it wouldn't work because of the stupid whatever. The king is covering there. He's not really doing anything with his pieces here. It's all good. If I just bring the rook behind, go here, then if he takes, then I take, then he has to take with the queen. This bishop doesn't bother me too much here. It's a plane. Or now that won't even work either. I could try to unleash the thing, get a fork out of it as well. That should be pretty hard for him to do anything about. He brings the bishop back. Probably make the most sense. To do this, he could not take. And you need to go on a plane. So you get the fork, you even get the fork on the queen itself, if I'm not mistaken. I love the Walker as that, though. Or even the like, neither of those really make a whole lot of sense, but at least the Wookiee is like more mobile. And Harry is just like a horse, but the Walker has nothing in common with it. It's way too big, first of all. It's a walker, not a jumper. They're lots of fun. They're also very dangerous, potentially. You at least get forked properly, and you get to lose a rook. Obviously, you save a queen. Why does this move even take that much thought? Why couldn't he have just been stars 1 3 3 7 instead of? Okay, he's basically just throwing now. That one's always in a better, more central position for him. We don't actually lose anything there, but it wouldn't be that hard to, you know, basically make me have to give that up. Just go like here, whatever. Look at him clowning up, dude. Look at him. This dude wants to join Draymond Green and Roy Hibbert for the fucking clown circus of the century. If you know, you know. Why would anybody want a number in their name? Says me, but at least it's not a number. At least in contexts where they don't force you to put a certain character limit. If the character limit's like 12 or something, I have to do it because it doesn't work otherwise. Like, you'd have to put the number 1 and then quiet gamer, but normally that's not an issue. He blocks it there. I could attack it there. Can't take. If he pushes that, I can take. If he pushes that, I can still take. So we can beat this guy with ease, and this is the kind of opponent that I guess is better. So it gets easier the closer you get to 15 because you get to farm original players. It's not like I was that much higher than 15. I was kind of still hard stuck around there, or whatever. I wouldn't play rapid as much, but it is weird because you get that little boost of just a lot of people who are just playing for the first time. If he comes down, I check there. Like, this should be a pretty easy way to finish it off. Okay, we only get 6 for that, though. That's not really fair. Because even if, okay, he's provisional in his first game, he's also 1500 assumed. So a mere 1300 should get a little more than that. Right, you're giving him the benefit of the doubt that the average person, even playing their first game ever, is better than me after playing so long. Because 1500 is not a very high standard. Can I get mod? I am thirsty for superiority. How's it going, Skylers? I mean, you could, but it's like nobody really. I almost shouldn't have given mod to a couple of like Simply or stars because there's no like actual responsibility associated with it. Like there's nothing that they actually have to do or actually do. It's just like a cosmetic mod just for the fuck of it, just because they wanted it. You should be mod. I don't even really need mods right now is the whole point, because my channel's not that big or my chat's not that active or anything. I keep hitting shuffle, but it won't actually let me do it. I'm an active viewer for... Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Like, being a mod is like a negative thing. Like, I wouldn't even want to be a mod if somebody else's chat. Like, it's a lot of work and you'd have to actually moderate the chat, as mod would indicate. But, I mean, hey, if you want it... What am I even trying to do? Just let's get back to 1500, which would take me all goddamn night to do. You want superiority? Okay, I'll do it after this one. I don't know if there's even a limit of how many you can have. Like, anybody who wants it, I'll just give it to them, but it doesn't really matter right now. Let's just destroy this guy real quick. 1434, you're no match for me though. I sometimes just play too fast though too. Especially in the opening, it's so tempting. Like, oh, look at me, I'm an expert on opening theory that I can just kind of do whatever I want. Even if you are, you shouldn't be so cocky with it. You can still do this, and that would lead to you being able to do this, but he's going to be too good to let that happen. How am I even playing with that setup? What, the pieces? It's not that hard to get used to, I guess. Yeah, it is a little bit confusing because the two sides are different. So if he takes with the knight, then I get to take. It makes your brain hurt. I like it. Okay, he takes with the queen. You can go here, and this is actually a very legitimate octopus knight. There's just one component missing with it, is that it actually needs a cover, which it may be difficult to secure that. But he's not doing anything to stop it. He'll take there. If I go here, he'll take there, then I'll take, and then I can do it. Right? Or maybe he's not so smart as to know what the en passant even is. The site actually has to give you a tooltip to explain it, or that's like chess.com that does that. Change accounts, but I've known him for like 2 years. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that is always confusing when it does that. It just show you like on their thing, everybody's like whole whatever, or even Stars does that to confuse me. He has like an alt account that he always uses, which I know it's him, but it's still just confusing. Imagine if everybody did that. This is good. Alright, I can't even do it. It's actually okay though, because you have the symbiotic relationship with the knight and the thing. But what if I just castle? He works while streaming and he has never told anyone. No, I don't really do that now. I haven't. Wait, what? I was so fixated on the octopus knight, but come on, man. Yeah, that used to be what it was more, that I would kind of go AFK a lot because I was doing stuff. But what's funny is that actually ended up working out better. So like at that point, I would stream for like 6 to 8 hours a day, and I would only be AFK for like an hour or two, but it would just be at sporadic, you know, random times and for short periods. Now it's like, oh, now I have a dedicated setup where like when I stream, I'm only streaming and I'm not actually AFK or distracted, but then I only end up streaming for like 2 hours. So it was actually better that way, in a manner of speaking. Man, I'm just playing like garbage though. What do you know about him? Every bit of knowledge. That's not nice. Now he's talking to himself with his other alt account. Personal info, help me get him a cat. He would take, there's too much cover on there. Oh my god, I don't know what this guy's doing. I blame the Octopus Knight for the trouble that I'm in, even though it really wasn't the fault of it. It was just my overzealous desire to have it and not really paying attention to covering it. That's one of those things, like, you're thinking too far ahead. I can't remember what that Yoda quote is, but I keep wanting to say it because it'd be perfect since I'm using the Star Wars set. Like, he was always focused on the future, never his mind on what was in front of him here and now. Something like that, talking about Anakin. He never told me what his job is. He would go AFK in the middle of a game because he said he had to do his job. There would be a sound played, then he would pause at AFK. He said he streamed while working. Or maybe I work while streaming. Depends how you look at it. Go here, even though it's a clown move. And yeah, chess is so perfect for that, especially if you do a classical game. Because in the course of a 30-minute thing, you're gonna have time regardless whether you... How has it been 3 minutes if I've used 4 minutes myself? What kind of math is that? Tells people how to make ads, I'm pretty sure. What the fuck was that? Like, he's still winning, but the brazen desire to do that could actually help me, just because, you know, the queen can be still so much more dynamic here. He's really only up like one piece and maybe like a pawn, but this knight's just gonna be a pain. Even though he majored in psychology in college, can you play that sound? We would call that sound the microwave. I thought that it was his burrito. Tells people how to make... Okay. Don't fall for his trick. That's actually just stars on his other account. What is even going on here? He's there. Wait, what? Wait, who's... Wait, this is me, this is me, this is me. This is him. So why is this... Oh, he's just double attacking, triple attacking. So he can just sack everything. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take, which isn't too bad for me materially, but... He would take, I would take... Wait, he would take, I would take... I don't know what's happening. Yeah, he should do that, but you'll have nothing left, so give me a stalemate. This doesn't even make any sense. Like, how did I fall from 15 to this? It doesn't even matter. I might be playing at relatively the same level, but... Why should it be hard to get to 1500 on here, of all places? I always like to look at these older songs and appreciate, like... They might not sound exactly how they sound now, but... Like, you can see the genius behind them. Like, some of the best examples are, like, the Phoenix Wright stuff. Like, if you look at GBA Phoenix Wright, and then you compare... Right... OST. Some of them sound like so garbled and not very impressive, but then you see, like, what's a good example? They had like the genius that they could kind of see through. So then when it came on the DS with better technology, it makes perfect sense. Like, wow, what a great composition, but you would have never understood it until then, I guess. Like that one's not too noticeable, but yeah, see, like, even this one's kind of rough, but then they made it so much better. Kind of repetitive. Some of them, I think, display that a little bit better. Like, even the objection. Yeah, like this. This isn't that great in this form, but just the visionary fucking music design for what it eventually became. Like, how you do this on a GBA, on like mid-eye sound, I don't even understand. Okay, would you just hurry up, man? How hard is it to just mate me here? You already have what you need. Do I still eat only junk food? Yeah, mostly like fast food and stuff. Although sometimes it's slow food, like Domino's and stuff. I mean, you have to order in advance. KFC, Domino's, Chinese food. That's pretty much my whole diet right there. He lives in some place. He's trying to dox me. You should play Death Note music, the piano one. I can't remember which one exactly that is, but I can play one, sure. Which? You see? Oh, I can't keep up with. Okay, can you just fuck off? This guy's annoying me. All right. Why does he take so fucking long? Okay, let me read up on that, and then I'll actually mod him, and then I'll try to gain some more rating, I guess. Yeah, some of it sounds so weird, but it works out, is basically my point. You get like a glimpse into the mind of an artist that they were able to have that vision ahead of time. Let me read all what I missed there, since I was so triggered by that guy. Don't know where he lives, trying to dox me. He seems like an MC of his story. Main character of his story. He said you knew him. Yeah, we know each other through Twitch. Death Note music. He lives somewhere. Are you fat? I wouldn't say I'm fat, but I'm not skinny. Like I used to be skinny when I was young, and now I'm kind of average probably. Regardless of how often to say make a home meal, he still says no. He's a bit overweight, only like a few pounds, even though I use kilograms. How do you know? He's always very nosy. Okay, hang on. It's amazing how some of these games were introduced to people by like Smash Brothers, like Fire Emblem. Nobody knew what Fire Emblem was because they'd never had a Western release. Then they play Smash Brothers and play Roy or Marth or somebody, and then they want to see it from there. It's the same thing with Earthbound. Like my first experience with Earthbound was actually in Smash Brothers from NES and stuff, not actually from, you know, the games themselves. Because to be fair, they didn't have a ton of localized international releases. Even now, if you go to try to find them, you have to do like a fan dub patch or something to try to play them in English. Oh, hang on. Let me see something. Correspondence. Now that would be my specialty because of how incredibly slow I am, but then I tend to not really be patient enough. I'm sure he won't really play it like that, but I do kind of need some practice or something. I don't know why I'm so out of touch. Like playing once a week for a couple hours isn't enough. I have to play 14 hours every day to just, you know, that's a pure laziness move just because I want to trade it. There's no other special meaning to it. I don't really like that move as much. I much prefer putting it on one of the edges like that, right? If I had to choose where the bishop is going to be. My arrows are about as accurate as my actual chess accuracy. Haha, the one joke that never dies. But even as I get better, I can just improve my accuracy with the arrows too. Alright, so we can do this, Or really what I should have done is the anchor pawn, and it would make perfect sense here because, you know, you would just be in a position where you are all on the light squares and you have the dark square bishop to complement that. That makes sense. So again, that position made more sense from the beginning. I don't know why I doubted my own anything. If I take here, he takes back, but then I could take back as well. But he'll take with the lesser of the pieces, obviously the knight. He would never take with the bishop because it's just objectively superior. And he has, what the fuck? And he has the potential to do a bishop pair there as well. Everything seems pretty much standard here. This is a good diagonal. Doesn't really even matter. We'll find a way to make that work eventually. You could put this here. You could put this here. He takes. I could take. But he's obviously not going to leave the bishop there, or he'll put it there. He's too good for stuff like this, because this is an actual accomplished, experienced player that we're going up against here. Despite maybe him not playing as much lately or being rusty or whatever. It's not like I'm any bit experienced either. You could do a wild move like this. Because even if he takes with the queen, then I could take, then he takes, then I could take. Or even if he takes with just that, then I could take. There's no reason to do it, but you could do it. Or like even this. Right, you can just do it for the fuck of it. Now he could raise it. Would be kind of annoying, because then that's giving him... No, it's still not a passed pawn, but the point is you can't take. I had a better idea before, and I just forgot what it was to try to exploit basically the same thing. How did my correspondence one get so low? I thought that was pretty high. I would always win every correspondence game because everybody would just stop playing at some point and get sick of it. If he takes with that, I can always take back, or I don't have to. Wait, what? Oh, but that's fine. Now that's playing right into my hands, because I always love doing the queen trades. Even if I'm winning, even if it's superfluous. So if you take, I take, you take, I take, you still take. So I can't do anything with that. I can just let you take, but it's still even material. This pawn is kind of isolated. It's kind of not the greatest thing to take it. You maybe take with this, then take with this, then take with this, then I can't take. And then it's basically lockdown as an octopus knight. Or would it be? He would take, I would take, he would take, I would take. Oh no, I actually have more than I realize on there. I like how shocked everybody is that, oh, this guy eats fast food. Like, what do you expect me to do? It's not that expensive. It's not that unhealthy. Well, it is actually pretty damn unhealthy, but if you do this, you're not going to benefit from the double stack or anything. So what you could do is you could push this out. That's a pretty good threatening spot actually for the pawn to be in. The problem is the king could probably easily come in and do something with it. If you just... there's some brilliant sequence here to just get the promotion. I know there is. But I can't figure it out, or I'm too lazy. Like, he's not going to let me do it. Theoretically, you should be able to do it, but he's not going to let me. That's the thing. Somehow, some way, you can just bait a piece or do something. I don't know how to get my knight in there to be effective, though. I'd be blocking my own cover. Like, look how clumsy the knight is. You go here, you try to cover, you can't do anything. All you'd have to do is get it in there, like... You go here, you go... There's nowhere to go. It would be pretty good, but then it still doesn't work. Just kind of like false hope. You could just take it anytime you want with the king. Yeah, I never really used to use this on a web browser, but I do kind of like it too, the custom cursor. Like one move too late, but actually here it's fine because you still can't take, because if you take, I take with that, you can't take. So now we're threatening a fork, which doesn't matter because the real point is to just push out the rook just so we can promote, but I still won't be able to do it. So I'll check, he'll take, then nothing happens. But at least if we compel the trade, it's really not a very good use of that. But you would take, I would take. Whatever you do with that is going to be a question, because if you still wouldn't take, though. That's the thing. Taking there is bad because you're trading down for a bishop. I don't even have to worry about it. But what I could do is I could push this out too. Now it just becomes a question of using this cover. Then can I bring the sucker down here? And if I do that, then promote, or you still can't take because now. Oh wait, you could easily take. Fuck me. You're gonna be a master at endgames, but that's even still a triumphant game, because even if he wins now, it's just an endgame study issue. It's not actually that big of a deal. I probably shouldn't move so fast here, but I find these positions so boring that I almost don't even care. If he pushes to there, that could be a problem, but not really. He's got to like not let him get through, basically. Got to play it linebacker and watch these. He'll come around. See, he can't. That's the thing. He can't do anything. You'd have to go back all the way around then. Fuck it. He goes back, I go back. Like, it'll be a draw no matter how you slice it. He can't go there, he can't go there, he can't go there, he can't go there. So his only open spaces are here and here. That's the way that you can like really... Sometimes you underestimate what the pawns are actually doing. They're objectively stopping him from going to almost every square on the board, right, to come past. So only those two squares are open. He's too far, obviously, from that. And then my king can just kind of match whatever he's doing. Unless he does something really cheeky and smart with the pawns, like take, I don't know. Can't come there, so he comes there, then I come there, then he comes there, then I come there, then he can't do anything. Yeah, how can I draw him? I mean, I guess he's maybe not playing his best game or most focused game ever, but still, I'm clearly not either. But then I'm losing to these 1200s and 1300s. It makes no sense at all. Okay, we'll get a threefold repetition. Fine with me. There's no other expectation here, really. We should already have gotten it, shouldn't we? We've already done this. I could try to push him out that way, but that seems lazy. Or maybe that would actually have worked. Like, I could have gone there. No, but then he can still cover it. It's not going to do anything. On an interactive game where even people as bad as we are going to get a draw every time just because that's the nature of the game, which it's arguably not, but it's still kind of annoying. Like, just how, well, it could be a mistake actually by me. Like, I'm committing too far in when I don't have to. But see, he'll never be able to do it. He objectively can't do anything. It's only this one square that he could possibly get through. Where the fuck is the threefold repetition, dude? Like, you can't come through, you can't come through, so you can't do anything. Okay, I don't even care. Like, now he's gonna go too far, but then I can't come in either, so... Only square you gotta watch is that A file. Not that hard to really figure out. Oh, there we go. Good game. This is what I mean. Like, we could do this forever till the end of time. Not saying he wouldn't beat me a number of times too, but it's just so frustrating. Like, who wants to do that? We spend a mere 9 minutes of our life to do that, but it feels like such a waste. This is what you want to do with chess. Just like watch your life pass you by and not even have the satisfaction of a win or the disgrace of a defeat. But even that's more of a level-headed, like, sort of way to look at it. Like, I'd rather lose and have like some sort of an experience instead of just like nothing. It's just blank, empty blandness of a draw. challenge you. Where are you even on Lichess? Or no, he wants to play him. Good game. Oh, you don't have Lichess? Yeah, I want to see you two play each other. This guy is a master of drawing. But that's the nature of the game, dude. I'm like Magnus Carlsen. I learned it from him. You got to draw in the majority of your games at whatever level you play at. What can I do? Can I create a challenge? Yeah, you should be able to do it in such a way that you can, even if you're not on the website, you should be able to still do it. Let me see, because I'm banished from chess.com forever. Okay, I don't actually know which of the two players we're playing right now. Are we playing stars, or did he just click it quicker? Yeah, you don't even have to have an account on here. You can just still do it. Here, let me change this. I did kind of want to farm out some rating. See how much energy I have to actually stay up all night and actually do this. I haven't given chess the same amount of time and effort lately because it doesn't really matter as much now, but I still think I shouldn't give up completely. When you play for 14 hours and barely make any progress in a day, then you know it's just not the way the game is meant to be played. No matter how good or bad you might be, it's just not the right way. Just study, they said. It'll be fun, they said. You go here, you're double attacking there. I don't know if there is a really super easy answer to that. You could just let me take the thing. So just go here, take, but then take. That's still a suboptimal pawn structure overall. Kind over, my autocorrector messes me up. I'm American too, so I don't have to. Are the kangaroos kind? Oh, I get it. Are the kangaroos kind over there? Yeah, I don't know how I could broker a match between the two of them, though. I'll be React Andy over here, react to them playing each other, and commentate on it like it's actually a serious professional game. So now here you get a nice little... No, you don't actually get anything. I would take, he would take, I would take, he would still take. It seems to mess up his pawns enough. Not just like I always want to trade everything for the sake of it. That does seem like an ugly position for him, though. Then again, he took towards the center, so maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't like this development of the bishop or the lack thereof. Kind of annoying because you guarantee the trade on the bishop, but he chooses not to do it. Still do it. We're kind of leaving this at the mercy of the knight here. Or do you fight kangaroos? Or the old expression, Australia lost to dodos or whatever. Like the Great Dodo War of 19 whatever it was. Which stereotype do you like better? That one or the fact that it used to be a prison country? Both of which are true, but not to be too harsh. All the shit that people talk about America. It was emus. In the background, are you supposed to be the Black Knight? Yeah, of course I am. Because he's winning. I would never be face palming and losing like that, especially as white, when white always has an objective advantage anyway. Even though I hate knights, or I hate horses more so than the knight itself. You don't even get to see the knight for the most part. Wait, what even just happened? He just took the bishop. Okay. Nothing crazy is happening with this. Of course, it's going to be another exciting draw. Yeah, why aren't I as popular as the best players in the world if I get draws even more frequently than they do? That's clearly what the draw of the game is. Literally, the draw of chess. So stupid. And that'll never change, even if it's, oh, it's Twitch culture and it's all these faster formats. I guess that's really what does it, though. That's why bullet chess is so fun, because it won't end in a draw, because somebody will lose on time, even if the position was a draw, basically. Dodos died like 300 years ago, really? That's not how you say it. I'm something of dodo myself. Shouldn't be called one quiet gamer, he should be called individual silencer player. Interesting way to put it. This is a pretty even position. I don't mind the way that it looks, but something is missing. Now you're kind of obligated to take, but you're not really. Because you could just ignore it. If he takes, I can just take. It's not a big deal. It's more like if it's a knight and a pawn, then you feel like you have to take, because otherwise you move it and then it's threatened for nothing. There's some scenario like that that I'm thinking of where you feel like you have to take. You gotta watch this creepy diagonal here. That's not gonna do anything. Okay, this is kind of cute because at least he has to take with either the... If he doesn't take with that, then I can take with that. So now there's some kind of cheeky thing that could happen, like if you let me take, then he could take here and then take, but then I still have to cover there, so it's actually okay. You have this going, but it's not really going to do anything for a while. If I take here, it's bad for my pawns. If I go here, take. If you go there, it seems okay. This is when you have to have the discipline just to not take, though. Look at the certainty with which he's moving with his pawns. This is a very sign of a good player right here, which of course I am very passive with my pawns. You should know that. You still play Dark Souls? I haven't in a while. I kind of left that one series hanging. Two of my longest, most epic series on either of my channels. Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. But Dark Souls 2 was a bit of a downer just because of how insane and stupid it was. In a way that almost felt a little bit contrived. Like, it's not really how it's meant to work. Like, it can be difficult, but that was just kind of dumb. Fighting an invisible boss is my weakness, I guess, where I can't see what is happening. It's supposed to be a blind playthrough, but that's just taking it too far. So I'll probably never play Dark Souls 3 then, because I would want to finish that first. I don't know what that move is. You would want to clear a path with that. Kind of a tough move here. Gee, I wonder what this 1321 player is trying to do there. What a crazy and off-the-wall move that you would never figure out. Okay. It's annoying because you can still keep covering this, but it's just not that clear. And then you could bring the other thing too, the bishop to attack it. Take. Then you just bring the queen. But now I have to bring the queen at some other angle. It's the pawns that are really going to do me in. He seems like he knows what he's doing with them. Pawns locked in combat are a sign of a higher level of play. Rather than just taking them right away, you wait for the opportune moment. Take. He just keep going, but then he can't, because then he's, yeah, like this is what I mean. Like he's compelled to take because you have to. Otherwise, you do something with the bishop, or I could double take. This seems like a good move. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. I could take with that. I might just end up blocking my own thing though. I kind of found myself in a weird spot though, where like I'm actually doing my main, what used to be my main series, like a hard mode, or even like a story game, and those are like my secondary series now. So instead, I feel like I'm 1, 2, 1, 2. I would take you. So that's kind of the opposite. Like I'm only doing secondary series now, and my main series is just completely like forgotten about because I don't have enough time or whatever. Take. Once again, pawns locked in combat, and don't fall for taking it. Advanced level pawn play here. What do you want to be when you grow up? You couldn't be talking to me because I'm already grown. Now this is an annoying position as well for the pawns because you have completely boxed my own bishop in here. Like, what the fuck is this position, dude? You're just gonna slow crawl with the pawns and try to get something. I don't even understand. You should be able to take... No, I'm thinking that this is double stacked for some reason. You could give a meaningless check here, and I'm all about that. Doesn't this whole experience just feel fruitless? But I guess that just describes chess overall. Like, unless somebody just blunders a piece stupidly, which probably could be me, there's just no point. I don't really get it. Like, let him do something then. This seems dumb, but it's the right diagonal towards the king that we're getting at least, so it's too aggressive of a move, though. I probably just should have done that. Now this could maybe backfire because he's putting too much on that. But he could just move. No, see, now he can't move it even. So all I'd have to do is attack it with something else, like the bishop or something. Which I can't even really do, or I could even do that. So then if he moves it, I can take the queen. If he doesn't move it, I could take, but then he still takes. That could be a thing that you could do too, but I can't do it apparently. Now this could also backfire on my side the same way, but then I won't be able to move it either. So as nice as that looks, this is all a bit of a bait. That seems like a terrible move by me. I shouldn't have let that position slip, but he'll trade and then I'll be fine. You don't like that objectivity that I can call out my own bad moves, but then I just know that I'm not good enough to see something better, or I'm not patient enough to find it, or I don't have enough time to find it. You are in the military. Is the piece on F1 a rook? You're talking to me. Military, he's 28, although military is you. Piece on F1 a rook. F1, yeah, that's both rooks, yeah. that proves that he's sniping me, because what the fuck is that though? What the fuck is that? Oh, wait. Wait, what? You're trying to tell me that he's just trying to cheese me that hard, huh? Now we have like this mating sequence in order, but I wouldn't actually be able to do it, obviously. I just have to cover the back rank to allow that the queen can't come in there. And the reason why is because you get mated. Wait, what? I'm so confused by what just even happened. I have no idea what happened. F8, C8, never mind. Now you could literally just do whatever you want. I guess I should win, but I don't understand how that happened. He found best move. I'm still gonna probably fuck it up. As long as he just doesn't give an endless check chain, which he probably shouldn't be able to do given the position of a lot of my other shit. Cover it, just go back and forth and kind of annoy the position a little bit. Cover's there. Like, what possible threats could he really pose is the big question, and there probably aren't any that he should be able to do. Okay. As long as he doesn't keep going on the back rank, which from this angle he shouldn't be able to get there very easily. He blundered, yeah. He checks there, like endless check chain incoming. Like, what would be the way to stop it, I guess? Like, we could give a check of our own. And then we just have to go to a spot that would actually allow him to stop doing that. Like, I don't know. He'll go there, and then I'll go there. And then he'll go there again. For fuck's sake, dude. Gotta address the threat. Like, this is so annoying and tedious. Do some trades or something. Takes. Check there as well. He's got to cover everything together. Come there is fine. We check again. Just give a whole bunch of spam checks. Wait, what? Good game. Yeah, I was very confused by my own good moves there. I didn't think they were actually that good, or I didn't really understand them, but it still worked, I guess. Win by piece majority. %75% accuracy, 87 cent a pawn. I don't know how we have this many blunders. It only felt like really one or two big blunders that were made there. And not really by me as much. Okay, let me actually try to farm a little bit of rating here, I guess. So clearly I'm capable of playing at a very high level. Like, he's 1300 on chess.com, which is basically like a god on here, but I can't seem to play like that against other people. Which I don't know why. Are you at the same level? Okay, I'll play you again after this. This is okay. Oh, he's talking to him. Okay, see you later. Yeah, everything's good with this. Nothing crazy. Just escape from that. Wildy Masky. Sounds like that one pronunciation channel that always says stuff in a weird way that's supposed to be funny, even though it's also passes itself off as like an instructive thing. I don't know what the whole point with that was, but you go here and you could easily take, and if he moves that, then I could just go back. This is okay, but you gotta move the king first to be able to do it. This is like the only attacking move that I ever make that's actually decent, just to open the king pawn like that. He's making some bad moves with his knights, just going back and forth. Oh yeah. Forgot about the music request thing. I got rid of that as a poll thing though, because people would troll me and do like whatever, just stuff that's gonna be copyright on purpose, or maybe it was by accident, but still. I'm usually pretty good about not having that happen. Now, how did he do that? Or isn't that exactly what I wanted him to do? It's free development with this. You could make a whole little meme cover over with that. Like, oh, it's free real estate. No, it's free development. Haha, like in the chess equivalent. Okay, so these are very awkward knight moves that he's making. Yeah, this one in L's ideology I really like. I don't know if that's considered one of like the 3 L themes or if that's something else. I would take, he could easily take, so I don't really have to worry about it. This bishop seems like to be in a very confused position right now. You would take, I would take. I could show you. These people shouldn't be good enough to even know how to end Pazant. It's okay still because we covered with that, although I don't really understand what happened. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take, he can double stack. What? They're attacking the rook, so you would think he would have to address it, but he can just take with that instead. He would take, I would take, he would take, but then I would still take. Right? I should still be able to take. That's still fine, but he's +2. I would take, he would take, I could take. That should always allow you to open the king, but then he can just move the knight instead. It just feels so weird that I could like get hard stuck at any point that I play at, because or like I would always set those goals, which is kind of eerie. Like I would say, okay, I have to get to 1200 rating, and it's not that I would fail right away, but I would get to like 1150 and then I would fail. So like how could it be that exact? There's obviously something psychological that happens, like you're not, I don't know, as soon as you get close you start to fuck up or something. I checked your channel, your most popular videos are 50k. Yeah, I've had a couple on YouTube that have done like that. which I guess is not a surprise. Like, once you start to upload stuff on a regular basis, that's bound to happen, but it's just kind of random. Like, I would have never guessed what clips would get that many. Danganronpa stuff. I guess that's kind of a good karmic justice moment for Phoenix Wright stuff. I always would have, like, you know, stuff like that I never... This is a great bait play, because if you take, then I take. And if you don't, then I guess I just take anyway. If you take... I would have, like, a lot of those deductive sort of moments in Phoenix Wright where I'd come up with a theory and it would be really good and whatever, and so I never got any credit for that, but I do get credit for, you know, in a different way, like a kindred spirit sort of sense. I think that is one of the one that gets the most views. I don't know why I have the stupid profanity thing on. Yeah, that bullshit is the one that gets the most views. Yeah, you would never, like, expect it. Like, somebody puts a lot of work in and does research and does interviews and makes this super, like, intuitive, well thought out research psychology thesis on some concept, and I upload that and it gets like 5 views, and then I do some random dumb shit like this, making some little pun or something, and that gets like 1 million views. This is like just the way you think about it. Or like the ooh, the chick saying ooh gets 1 million views. And not aesthetically Hannah. Or okay boomer, Nico lol. This is the level of content that we're at. So it all depends on what people actually reward in the first place. Okay, let me do a couple more, I guess. Yeah, that is actually kind of makes me stupid for how much I would ridicule and not take YouTube seriously. Like, why would I bother uploading to YouTube? And it kind of makes sense looking back on it, because if you're streaming for like 6 to 8 hours a day, you don't have time to upload to YouTube because you barely have time to stream at all. And I barely have time to do it still, but it's just like, sometimes it can be a little easier to edit and just do stuff like that. There's a YouTube short that got 10 million views in 2 days and it was purely random shit and senseless. Yeah, pretty much the state of it. There's probably quite a few examples of that actually. Let's see what we got. We can't actually do that, or there's no reason to do it. But now I've kind of sealed my fate that I have to do it because I can't escape. We could take there, or I could reinforce it. Now that's a bad thing because take. It's not that bad, but we have to address it before some pin problem happens. Just push it out. Who would think of all the games in existence that the one that would make me wish I had more time is actually chess? Because like all the amazing things you could do with it, despite how much time I put into it, it's like it's just never enough. Okay, it's still not going to do anything though. I record the short and true to it upload to see how good I can't read. What the fuck? Either you typed a really incoherent comment or I can't read for shit right now. I recorded the short and true. Okay, it's a combination of both. And try it to upload to see how good it would be, and I only got 100 views. Yeah, it's the algorithm works in mysterious ways. Or you know what I noticed is that when you upload something, if it doesn't get views within like the first 24 hours or something, it just won't get views. So like any clip that gets a lot of views, it'll get it very quickly. The algorithm will just bless it and it'll be really hot, and then it just dies out. After like 2 days, it's done. So that's where the majority of views come from. There's a few exceptions to that, but mostly that seems to be true. So you'll know, like it can take a while to get there to its peak views, but the first day it has to get like 10 likes and 1,000 views, and then it'll keep getting boosted by the algorithm. But it's very weird how it works. I know that the time to get views is 7 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. But I guess that's so dependent on where you live and stuff too, like what time zone you're in. This is a little bit annoying. Octopus knight position that he's established. I don't know what he's doing. Has this been open the whole time? What's he doing? You upload dog videos, it will increase probability of success. Probably pretty accurate. The upload meta. Upload a TikTok, upload dog videos, upload a video of you dancing to some stupid song. All these things have an improved rate of success. You're attacking there, which doesn't actually do anything. We're double attacking this, and he can't really cover it in a meaningful, effective way, so that should be good unless you want to go here. But that kind of is an ugly spot still, and then I could maybe take advantage later and try to pin down the king to the queen, but probably that's not going to happen. TikTok is the father of creative bullshit. It surprises me how creative people can get with their shit and get famous for it. I mean, some people put a lot of effort into it, but a lot of the time it is just random stuff or just like everyday occurrences. Like there's that one that's like this girl with the Riz, and it's like it's a bunch of, this is like the perfect example of what TikTok is about. It's like some little one-liner stupid joke, but it turns into a whole big format. Like this girl is standing at a racetrack or whatever, and she just does like a motion like saying come towards me, and then all the guys are running, but they were running anyway because they're in the middle of a fucking race. So haha, so funny, she has so much Riz that all these guys are running after her. That just sums up exactly what TikTok and everything is about. So we could do this one too, and he can't take anything, or he could take that. Because now if you take, I take. If you take, I still take. I can still take this whenever I want. Well, I'm not even saying that part of it, but... Oh, thanks for the follow. Wow, look at that. New record. He got mod before he even followed, but obviously... It's just a different account. People are so slow, man. Like, just do something. So your horse is naked there with no cover whatsoever. You could bring it down like this, and I wouldn't be able to take it. I'm threatening the bishop. Threatening a pawn there. Queen's in kind of an awkward spot, not really doing anything. Now if he moves it, I could take the queen. But he would probably move it there, but he'd probably do this actually. That might be a bit of a problem that I found myself in, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, okay, you'll take the thing. You'll take the pawn pretty much no matter what. There's nothing I can do about it. So if I go here, he goes here. I would take, and then he could just take, and then it wouldn't matter. I just have to let the pawn go, but I have to figure out some other path I want to take. Move the queen somewhere where it's actually going to be safe. I'm not in a bad spot, but I don't like what happened there, basically. The problem is you're giving him a free threat on the queen as well as you're doing that. So even this potential free take isn't going to happen. Or maybe you should do it in sequence. Like, okay, he would take, I would take, he would take, but he can't. He would take, I would take, he would take, and then I would take, and that should still be good. Like, he would take a pawn, I would take a knight, he would take a rook, I would take a bishop. So he got a pawn and a rook. It should be fine. Right, I might have traded down a little bit there, but it should mathematically work out. Even as weird as it seems, just because of how we left that hanging, which had nothing to do really with the position itself. He'll take the pawn, he'll attack the knight. I can gobble up a couple more pawns. He puts that down, but there's no real special meaning to it. In fact, that's a horrible move because I have... What are you doing? It was such an even position for him, or at least decent, and then he just throws it away. I broke record on the fastest account ever to get mod. It could be true. How did I end up at that one? Okay, so he played actually pretty well for a while, and then he just threw. I wanted to get to this square actually for the Octopus Knight, but I guess we're not going to have that happen. Or actually, you could still do it because you're covered by the Dark Square Bishop there. This is a pathetic rating drop, though. How the fuck did I end up at 1300? Doesn't even make any sense. It's one thing like, okay, you don't play as much, but how do you not... You don't play as much or you don't play as well as you normally were, which wasn't even that good to begin with, but how do you end up going from that to tanking it so hard? Like, okay, you play only one game a week and you lose it, but like... How long would it take then for you to actually lose that much rating? I obviously go on bad streaks where I get tilted and then just keep doing it over and over again. Now that's fine because he can't actually do anything with it. It's important not to get too cocky. It doesn't seem like as good of a position as you might think, but... This is where the Octopus Knight is just so beautiful because there's nothing you can really do about it. He played so solid and I was even worried about it, and then he just literally throws the game. I don't want to get to 1350 at least, not that that's much of a benchmark. That's as far as I got on chess.com, and then I immediately tanked it and ended up doing... whatever, like I ended up falling below 13, so that was a failure condition there, which I never thought I'd lose to that of all things. Because I didn't run out of time like I normally would, like, oh, I have to get to 1400 by the end of the month or the end of next month in that case. Right, so then if I fail that way I can understand, but when I exhaust all the ways I failed before, I have to invent new ones. And there's no such format for this, or there is for classical, but I'm not even playing classical right now. You gotta get this one to 1337 and the other one to 1669, so we got all the memes in one. Okay, you go here, you go here, you go here. We're double stacked, which is okay. One of the rare cases where the queen can meet the rook because that's all he's got, so I could double take, no problem. Or people sometimes will abort because they think, oh, they see this guy streaming, so he must be good, or he must be a smurf or something. But if you're like me, it has nothing to do with that. Like, you can be garbage, but you still want to stream. I just kind of keep feeding for the trade, but he won't give it to me. But now he kind of has to give it to me, otherwise he has to give up the pawn. Okay, come on, bro. How many thousands of games have you played to be this bad? 245? What the fuck? I feel like I'm being trolled sometimes, but it is for actual high value, high stakes rating. But clearly he wouldn't be doing that. Oh, you had to fuck me on that too. It'll be 1338 instead of 1337. Now I can make a proper decision. Do I want to stay up all night to get rating on Lichess? Or do I want to go to sleep and not ruin my morning and my work schedule and everything else? Like, this is the decision you have to make as a mature adult in life as far as how much you care about chess. And let's see what our record was overall. What was the center pawn thing in that game? 77 center pawn loss. 47 is actually pretty good. Right, anything below 50 is kind of what you should be shooting for. I think I started off pretty bad, but then maybe I won a couple 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, 1 week ago. So 1 loss, 1 win. So 1-1, 1-2, 2-2, 3-2. Or I shouldn't even count the ones that are going to be against viewers and stuff, but 1-1, 2-2, basically 2-3. So like 4-3, I guess. Is not really anything special. 1338, rank 201,000. I miss seeing like being top 6,000 here. Right, I literally was top 6,000 or 7,000 just by being 16 to 1,700, but it doesn't show that unless you play it on a regular basis, which I certainly don't have the energy to do that right now. Okay, see you tomorrow.